Are you thinking about buying a home and want to know about the 5 mistakes that Madison homebuyers make and how to avoid them? Well, if you're interested in that, then stay tuned because this video I'll be covering just... I'm Josh with the Lavic Home Team, and in this video, I'm going to be covering the 5 mistakes that Madison homebuyers make and how best to avoid them. So, mistake number 1. First off, I know you may want a new car, boat, or RV, but hold on, hit the brakes, pause, because mistake number 1 is buying one of those large ticket items without fully having all your finances in order to buy the new home. So, if you really want to buy a new home, make sure that you talk to your lender if you're getting financing before you buy a new car, boat, or RV, or other large financial purchase. Could impact your debt to income ratios. Your debt to income ratios, of course, will impact how much you can afford to purchase in a home because there's going to be limits on those. Hit pause on the new large purchases like vehicles like that. And if you do, it might be fine, depending on your financial situation. Maybe it's okay to still buy one of those things. But if not, it could totally mess up your new home purchase. Okay. Mistake number 2, not clearly understanding your needs as a home buyer. So, a lot of times we see this with people coming into the market and, they just want to buy a new home and they're not exactly sure what they want. And part of that solution is to really just spend some time exploring the market. So getting to know a little bit more about the community, areas you might like, different neighborhoods you might like, different businesses you like to visit or restaurants or things like that. You can obviously talk to your agent or realtor to help you identify what some of those locations and areas might be. But part of it is you just need to spend some time sort of exploring both in person and online and talking to other people to really explore the market. I think if you do that and you have a pretty good idea of what you are looking for, then you can be that much more effective when you've identified the right neighborhood and the right property and the right everything that is going to best fit your needs. If you don't clearly understand your needs, I totally get it, but part of the answer is just spend some time exploring the market. All right, mistake number 3 is many buyers I see, they sometimes maybe don't know the process, right? So this is our job as realtors, right? Like how do you best strategize to come up with the right strategy? That a part of it is not knowing the process. As realtors, we deal with this all the time. We're always dealing with writing offers and negotiating contracts and making counter offers, or if we're competing with multiple offers and that kind of thing. Part of your job as a good realtor is to help you through this process. And so, just be open to listening to some of that and taking feedback on it. And at the end of the day, your realtor's there to kind of help you through this process. And it's ultimately your decision. And as a buyer in the market, you have the final say, but your realtor is going to give you advice along the way to help you through it as well and help you know and understand what is going to come next in the process. Mistake number 4 is overthinking it. Now, this can be kind of common, actually, right? A lot of times buying a home, it's a big deal, right? You're spending $300,000, $400,000, $500,000, $1 million, or however much you're going to spend on that new home. And it can be somewhat paralyzing, right? Like, oh my gosh, am I going to make a big mistake if I buy this new home? And if you're just uncertain about it, right? I totally get that. And that's normal. But I think it's important to recognize that you shouldn't overthink it, right? I mean, some people, it's fine to get a little bit of cold feet and kind of hit pause, but also keep in mind that, it may not be your forever home, right? People oftentimes, right, move more than once, or, you could live there for maybe a few years, but it doesn't need to fit your needs long-term for 30, 40, 50, 60 years or whatever it might be. Certainly it could, and that could be an option, but I don't think that it has to be. And I think if you could just go into the home purchase process and say, this fits most of my needs, if it's a 7, 8, or a 9 out of 10, really that's a win. So try not to overthink it too much, because I think what I found is that can sometimes paralyze people, and then they end up missing out on really good opportunities, right? And if you overthink it, odds are it's a great home and it's maybe a 8 or 9 out of 10 of what you want it to be. It may be an 8 or 9 out of 10 for someone else as well. And if they're a little bit quicker to make that offer and make an opportunity happen, then you may have just missed out on that offer. Mistake number 5 is sort of related to that, but it's something that we've noticed is buyer's remorse. You say you're in a process and you're buying a home. All right, you're not overthinking it. You're like, yep, this feels good. Let's make an offer. I like it. Let's go. And all of a sudden, you get a signed, accepted offer, you have a contract pending, and now you do the inspection, or now you have to get your financing fully approved, or, suddenly it's real. And, having a little bit of buyer's remorse is totally a normal feeling, right? Like I said before, this is a big purchase. It's a big deal. And I think just taking it in and just sitting with that feeling rather than just ignoring it, I think is actually a healthy thing to do. And just understand that, it's a big deal, but it's going to be a good thing for you in the end. I mean, as long as you're planning to stay here, in the house at least a couple years, I would say, for the most part, buying real estate is a great decision for most people, especially if they're going to stay in an area for at least a couple years, because they're building equity. At the end of the day, it's a good decision for you to be able to buy a home, and it's good for your family. It's good for your finances. It's a good decision overall. And, just understand that having a little bit of buyer's remorse is normal. I just encourage you to sit with it. And then if it still feels really like a bad decision, obviously you could back out. There can be consequences because of that. But, even if you do move forward with it, you could always resell the property at a later date, or you could rent that property at a later date. So there's other options out there besides just backing out and starting over from ground zero. So there you go. These are the 5 mistakes that Madison homebuyers make and how to best avoid them. I'm Josh with the Lavic Home Team, and I hope you found this video helpful. And if there's anything I can do to help you buy a new home and help avoid some of these mistakes in the market, please feel free to reach out to myself or one of my team members. Thank you.